Assalamu alaikum, family. Hope y'all are having a blessed and wonderful day. Hope y'all are doing well. Today is Friday, and we know what they say TGIF. Thank God it's Friday, but we thank God for every day, even Monday, the dreaded Mondays and Tuesdays. We thank God for every day because we know that it's yet another day, a beautiful day that Allah, God, has allowed us to see because we could do it over. We could um, do better. If you didn't do something right the day before, or if you made mistakes, you have another the next day to get it right, to do better than you did the previous day. So we thank God for that. We thank Him for allowing us to see another day, because with Him we had the fiber of our being, we had a breath in our life. So we just thank Allah for that. And the likelihood that you had a tough week or you're having a tough day, always remember this: tough times don't last, tough people do. Keep your hope and trust and faith in Allah, God, and He will see you through. I could definitely bear witness to that. So, getting to the topic for this video, the movie Sinners by Ryan Coogler was great. It was a great film. I enjoyed it. I saw it with my wife on Tuesday evening. It was her third time seeing it. It was my first time. My wife really enjoyed it. I think she wouldn't mind seeing it a fourth time, and I wouldn't mind seeing it a second time. That's how good it was. And I know people who've seen it, two times. Like I said, my wife's seen it three times, and they enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. It takes place in 1932 in the Mississippi Delta. So I think Clarksdale, Mississippi, that area. And that area hits close to home for me because my father, my biological father, my paternal family, they're from the Mississippi Delta. My dad was born in Sumner, Mississippi. Sumner, Mississippi. That's in Tallahatchie County, Charleston and Tallahatchie County. So down in Sumner, and that's in the Mississippi Delta. That's where the blues was born. And my grandfather loved the blues. May Allah be pleased with my late grandfather, Mr. Oliver Jackson, and may Allah be pleased with my dad, Mr. Milton Jackson. They both have gone on, transitioned on. But they were from the Mississippi Delta. So that area, like I said, it hits close to home for me because that's where the paternal side of my family is from, the Mississippi Delta. And so Sinners takes place there in 1932. Michael B. Jordan, very talented brother and actor. Um, he plays dual roles. So he plays uh, twin brothers, Stack and Smoke. Stack and Smoke. So Michael B. Jordan's playing two roles. Um, Double, twin brothers. Stack and Smoke. They're World War One veterans, both Stack and Smoke. They were fought in World War One. They moved back to Mississippi, which is where they're from. Moved back there from Chicago. They were working for Al Capone. Interesting. They were gangsters. They opened up a speakeasy, like a not a really speakeasy, but like a sawmill, and it converted into a club. And what's interesting about this movie is that it shows the relationship between Chinese Americans or Chinese immigrants and the blacks in Mississippi during that time. And yes, there were Chinese immigrants who lived in Mississippi and the Mississippi Delta in the 1920s and 30s. It's well documented. I posted a video on my X feed about this a few days ago. The Chinese opened restaurants and businesses in the Mississippi Delta, in the towns of the Mississippi Delta, back in the 20s and 30s, and they was sold to black people. They black people, because black people who didn't own their own businesses, They couldn't, it was Jim Crow. So they couldn't partake in the white man's businesses. They were discriminated against. So the Chinese opened up businesses and they welcomed black patrons. So they kind of worked hand in hand. Also, also, the Chinese were discriminated against in Mississippi. They faced discrimination. They were lynched and hung. They were. Not at the rate that we were because we were more of the population, but they were lynched and hung, lynched and targeted with discrimination, as well as Jews, Italians, and Catholics. Yep, this is documented. But in any event, I'm glad that Ryan Coogler showed the relationship between the Chinese immigrants and the black citizens in the Mississippi Delta because they played a role in the juke joint because they was frying catfish. They got some fish from the Chinese restaurant and they was frying catfish. Interesting. So they played a role in it. Delroy Lindo, great, great, great actor. He was in the movie. He played Delta Slim, who was an alcoholic, but he could play the blues. Omar Miller, who was in 8 Mile. Yeah, was he in 8 Mile? I think he was in 8 Mile. I know he was in that show Ballers. He was in it, Big Brother. He played what was the name of his character? Um, I'm gonna look it up. Hold on. Hit that thumbs up button, smash that thumbs up button now. Hit the subscribe button so you get notifications of when I do videos on here. While I look this up, Omar Benson Miller. The role he played. Cornbread. So he played a character named Cornbread who worked out in the fields picking cotton. Cornbread, and Cornbread was the bouncer at the club, Big Brother. And again, like I said, in the Mississippi Delta, it was that was is number cotton fields for miles, for miles. Clarksville, Mississippi, I think is what 90 miles, 100 miles south of Memphis, I believe. Let me see. But it's nothing but cotton fields. And the next biggest town was Clarksville, Mississippi. How far is Clarksdale from Memphis? Oh, closer than that. 76 miles. So Clarksdale is 76 miles south of Memphis. That's real close. I said what 90 to 100? 76 miles. So nothing but like I said, nothing but cotton fields. And Clarksdale is the home of the blues. And Memphis is known for being uh, significant in the history of the blues too. We know the late great B.B. King, may Allah be pleased with them, and so many blues musicians came from Memphis, Clarksdale, the whole Mississippi Delta area. But um, where was I at? So yeah, Delta Slim, played by Delroy Lindo. Omar Benson Miller played the character Cornbread, who worked out in the cotton fields, and they got together and Smoke, Michael B. Jordan's other character, hooks up with his estranged wife, and she takes part in bringing this club about. And Stack, Michael B. Jordan's other character, he hooks up with his girlfriend, a mulatto young lady who could pass as being white because back then mulattoes could pass for being white, He hooks up with her, and she's beneficial in starting on this club. So you have Smoke and Stack, who were veterans of World War I, moved back from Chicago to their hometown, start this club. You have Stack's estranged wife, and they lost a baby, by the way, in the movie. But his estranged wife, she's beneficial in starting the club, as well as Smoke, his twin brother, his girlfriend, Mary. I think her name was Mary. She could pass a mulatto young lady who could pass for being white. She was beneficial in starting the club. Delta Slim. Oh, and Smoke and Stack's cousin. I forgot about them. Their cousin, who was a church boy and whose father was a preacher, their uncle was a preacher, and he said the blues ain't nothing but the devil's music. We've heard that. I've heard that before. If it ain't holiness, it's hell. It's of the devil. So their cousin, who plays the guitar at his father's church, they recruit him to play the guitar at this club against his father's wishes. His father is their uncle, Smoking Stack's uncle. And he forbid his son, no, don't go there. It's the devil. It's the spirit of devil. And he goes anyway, because he want to help his cousins, Smoking Stack. What was the young man's name? But in any event, and then you have Cornbread, who was the bouncer. Then you have the two Chinese, the Chinese couple who they did the cooking. So it was a great movie. I like how they tied everything together. And Pearline, Pearline. So the young man I mentioned who played the guitar in his daddy's church, his nickname was Preacher Boy. Preacher Boy. Smoking Stack's cousin. Smoke's wife, estranged wife, was Annie. Preacher Boy hooked up with this fine sister at the train station in Clarksdale. Her name was Pearline. She was a singer in the club. And Grace Cho, Grace Cho and Bo, they were Chinese immigrants. Grace was a shopkeeper, and Bo was a shopkeeper too. They provided the food for the club, and everything's going good. Everything's going good in the club, and a vampire by the name of Remick, an Irish immigrant. He comes to this white couple's home, and he visits them. He's being chased by vampire hunters who happen to be Choctaw, the Choctaw Indians. They inhabited the Mississippi Delta. They were vampire hunters, and they was chasing Remick, an Irish immigrant. So this couple who are in the Ku Klux Klan, they let him in, and he bites them. They become vampires. They hear Preacher Boy playing his guitar. Preacher Boy can play the blues, playing his guitar. He doing his thing. They hear it, and they try to get into the club. Smoking Stack and Cornbread won't let him in. So not Pearline, excuse me, Mary, the actress who played Mary, she's the fiance of Josh Allen, the quarterback of the Buffalo Bills. She convinces Mary, yeah, she convinces Smoke and Stack that they need the money. So she go out to wherever, meet these people, and she's bitten, and she becomes a vampire. And her and Stack, the other character, played by Michael B. Jordan. They get it on sexually, and she bites him, and now Stack becomes a vampire. And so they try to invade the club, um, and all hell breaks loose. Bo goes out. Um, what's her name? Grace, the Chinese immigrant Grace. Her husband Bo goes out. So I'm gonna warm the car up so we could go see about our daughter. He gets bitten by a vampire. He becomes a vampire. So it's a big war between the vampires and those who are human, because the vampires are trying to invade the club, and a big clash breaks out. Delta Slim is killed. Um, Grace is killed. Um, Annie, who plays Smoke's wife, she's killed. Pearline is killed. Preacher Boy's love interest, but the survivors are Smoke, Preacher Boy. Those are the two survivors out of all this that happens. And the sun comes up, and the vampires they disintegrate. Remick, Delta Slim, Bo. Well, Bo had been dead. Um, Annie died. Pearline, she disintegrates because she's a vampire. The couple that's the Ku Klux Klan, that's in the Klan, they disintegrate. All the people who became and Cornbread, he becomes a vampire. He went to go use the bathroom and he got bit. So all of the people who became vampires, they disintegrate when the sun comes up. And At the end, so before this, Remick was trying to convince them to to let them in and join them, become vampires. His reasoning was, well, you join us, you live in a utopia. There'll be no racism because we're all one and it's all love. But Smoke isn't convinced. He ain't convinced. And Remick warns Smoke that the at the beginning of the movie, Smoke and Stack buys a sawmill from a older white male who's in the Ku Klux Klan. He says, "Well, the Klan don't exist no more," but that's BS. So Remick tells him that Hogwood, I think that's the man's name, is gonna come and kill them all. It's gonna come and invade the club and kill everyone that's in there. He warns them. Remick the vampire, the Irish immigrant who's a vampire, warns them about Hogwood's plans. So after all of the vampires disintegrate, at the very end, Smoke gets his machine gun and his Tommy gun, and the Klan come and they look for him. It's a group of Klansmen who come, and Smoke is hiding in the thickets. He gets his machine gun and he guns them, every last one of them crackers down. He guns them down because what they were planning on doing, they were planning on killing every black person in that building, lynching them, shooting them, whatever the case may be. But Smoke guns them down. And he takes his Tommy gun and he kills the remaining Klansmen. Well, one of them is driving off. He throws a grenade and he blows up their vehicle. Because again, like I mentioned, he was in World War One. He was a war veteran, fought in Europe in World War One. He takes a bullet to the gut, bleeds out and dies. And as he's dying, he sees an image of Annie, his estranged wife, holding their baby that died. It's a little girl. So that was sad that Smoke ended up dying. But fast forward to 1992, 60 years later, Preacher Boy is a blues singer in Chicago. Moves to Chicago as a blues singer. And who appears? Stack and Mary. Stack and Mary appears. Stack has a high top fade because it's 1992, and Mary is with him, and they dress like people dressed in the early 90s. And you know, they have an interchange, whatever, and they had to have a drink with a preacher boy who's now 60 years older, probably in his 80s at that time. And he said he still thinks about that night, the night that about what happened at the club that night with the vampires. So as we see, uh, Smoke spared his brother's life, even though he had turned to a vampire. He spared his life, and for some reason, Mary survived all of that, and they end up living on 60 years later. But that's a brief overview of the movie. I know I kind of was all over the place, so forgive me, but the movie was great. It reminded me the choreography between the vampires because Remick is an Irish immigrant. Him and the vampires, they do a river dance. The Irish river dance, they do it. And the choreography was great. It reminded me of Thriller. It did. It reminded me a little bit of Thriller with them dancing. The movie also reminded me of the show Lovecraft Country, which was on HBO for what, one season? It reminds me of Lovecraft Country and reminds me of True Blood, the show that was on HBO years ago for what, 6 or 7 seasons? So it reminds me of Lovecraft Country meets True Blood meets Michael Jackson's video Thriller, all roll into one. Great choreography, great acting. I love the way they tell history about the relationship between what was going on with black people back then with segregation, with the Klan. They were very rampant in the Mississippi Delta in the early 30s, and with the Chinese immigrants interacting with the black locals, because that's very well documented and true. So I just enjoyed the movie. I urge you to go see it. Ryan Coogler did a great job. Him and Michael B. Jordan are great. They work great together. We know they did the Black Panther movie. Before that, back in 2013, they did Fruitville Station. That was their breaking out party. Fruitville Station was about Oscar Grant. Michael B. Jordan played Oscar Grant, and that movie was directed by Ryan Coogler. Excellent job. That was their breaking out party. So they did that in 2013. They did Black Panther. They did the Creed movies, and now they did this movie. And they probably gonna do future. They probably gonna have future projects together as well. But excellent, excellent. These two are the new Spike Lee and Denzel Washington. I'm gonna say that. Ryan Coogler is the new Spike Lee, and Michael B. Jordan is slowly becoming the next Denzel Washington. That's the way I that's my take on it. But this was an excellent movie. Um, John Leguizamo, get the Bozak. He's complaining about why there weren't any Hispanic people in the movie. Really? This is what I heard. Because there weren't Hispanic people living or Latino people living in the Mississippi Delta in the 1920s and 30s. Oh, you dumb MFer. Even to this day now in 2025, there's very little Latino people who live in the Mississippi Delta. They have there hardly no uh, Latino people who live in that region, even to this day. So why would they put them in the movie? Why? John Leguizamo, get the Bozak. Please get the Bozak. You're corny. You a loser. Get the Bozak. And I saw that Ben Stiller had to defend the movie because people are saying that how did they make uh, 60 million on a 90 million budget or something to that effect. The movie only been out since last Friday. So it's not fair to judge it by what it's made in 1 week. And but they do that with black movies. And so kudos to Ben Stiller for defending the movie. Greatly appreciated, bro. Um, greatly appreciated because they don't do that with any other movies. They wait until after the fact, after the first month of the gross earnings. Or if they report the gross earnings for that first week, they don't make a big deal about the budget. Well, they went over budget and they didn't go over. They don't do that about any other movie, but with a black movie. So that was ridiculous. That was dumb. It's 90. I think what I saw it was $90 million, and they only made 60 million, whatever. It's like, come on, really? Ryan Coogler is gonna make his money 10 times. It's gonna make his money a lot over than what it was the budget for the movie was. Because again, it's only been out for a week. It's only been out for 1 week. You still have this weekend. You still got the first week of May. So people are gonna keep seeing it. They don't take that into effect. They just look at the first few days. And that's not fair. But like I said in my last video, life ain't fair. But it's just dumb to even do that because now you downplaying a movie like, well, we don't think it's worth, just throwing innuendos out there. And we know Hollywood is racist. We know that. But beside all that, go see the movie. I definitely give it a 2 thumbs up. It was a great film. There were a couple of people that I saw. They said they didn't like the movie, but you know what? To each their own. Some people may not like it. Many of us did. Everybody had different taste. So, but I I love to hear people's perspective, but I wanted to see it for myself, and I really enjoyed it. My wife did too. So go see the movie, check it out. Support Ryan Coogler. He's from Oakland, from out here in Oakland. Support Michael B. Jordan. Brother's a great actor. And Ryan Coogler said this movie is predominantly FBAs, foundational Black Americans. We know Delroy Lindo is British American. The actress that play Annie, Smokes, a strange wife, she's British Nigerian. But for the most part, everyone in the movie was foundational Black Americans. Oh, except the Chinese couple, the Chinese American actors. But for the most part, it's FBAs, foundational Black Americans. And salute to Ryan Coogler for that. But I'm gonna hop off of here, y'all. I think I made my point known on the movie. Go see the movie. For those of you who haven't seen the movie, please don't watch this video because I just gave the movie away. So please don't watch this video. This video is for those who saw the movie and just my take on it. And I really enjoyed it. I loved how they bridged the history. Also, when Preacher Boy's playing this guitar, it shows you the our ancient African ancestors playing the drums, and it also shows you 80s hip hop, the DJing. So it's bridging all the history of our music, and I love that Ryan Coogler did that. So go see the movie. For those basically this video is for those who saw the movie. See it again, and this is my take on the movie. So don't watch this video if you haven't seen the movie. Please don't. And I put that in the title. But in any event, y'all have a blessed, wonderful day. I love y'all. I know there are going to be some who disagree with me about this movie, and that's fine and dandy. Let's agree to disagree without being disagreeable. Let's do that, y'all, even regarding this. In our disagreements, let's use logic, common sense, and respect, not emotion and disrespect. That'll get you nowhere. Support my YouTube channel here and my future projects. It'd be greatly appreciated. I appreciate y'all love and support. It goes a long way. And believe me when I tell you, I really do appreciate it. I love y'all. Um, Share this video. Share it, share it, share it. Let's have the conversation. And drop your comments below. I would love to hear your perspectives. What else? Brothers as well as sisters, y'all be safe out here. The weekend is upon us, so y'all be safe. Beware and be aware. Whether you're going to work, coming home from work, dropping your children off at school, uh, or picking them up, running errands, on vacation, or have plans for this weekend, or if you're not doing nothing at all, please beware and be aware. Satan comes to kill, steal, and destroy now more than ever before. Hit that thumbs up button, smash that thumbs up button down, hit that subscribe button. I love y'all. Y'all have a blessed and wonderful day. I will talk to y'all soon. Inshallah. Have a blessed rest of your day and a blessed weekend. I love y'all. Take care. Assalamu alaikum.